PGS employees, so to be in front of Dr. Konarski, my mentor in the council, and all of you, I'm just honored, so thank you. My name is Selene Lawrence, and I'm with Sullivan Solar Power. We are a leading solar and energy storage installation firm in the state of California, and so I'm providing an update on what's going on in that slightly warmer state than here. So just a few days before I was invited, we passed historic legislation in California that commits us to 100% clean energy by 2045. And so there's a lot of roads and partnerships that will get there, but one I'm reporting on today is through a program called Community Choice Aggregation. It's also known as Community Choice Energy, and this photo is actually from San Diego a few weeks ago with our CEO, where they committed to participate in this program. And so before I get into what CCA is all about, I want to remind you of the game that we're all currently playing, right? So most of us get our energy from a utility monopoly. We don't have a choice. It comes from one provider, and they determine the rates. But community choice energy really flips that concept on its head. So it's when a city, a municipality, a county, or a combination of those get together to start procuring and purchasing energy on behalf of their residents. So this is happening all throughout the state of California. They're not necessarily in the transmission and distribution industry. We're still using existing infrastructure, which is usually owned by the investor-owned utility or municipal utility, but it's really at the source. So there's purchasing power here, and it's introducing competition into a traditionally non-competitive energy space. And so this was really made possible on the legislative level in California. So there was two bills that really allowed this to take place. One is Assembly Bill 117, which established community choice in California and let this be a viable option. And that was followed shortly thereafter by Senate Bill 790, which established a code of conduct for community choice. It really has its roots at the legislative level. So what are the benefits of CCA? One is in its name, choice, so introducing competition into this space. But also CCAs have the power to purchase more renewables that the investor-owned utilities just aren't able to provide. Also stable and fair rates. So every CCA that we've looked at in California is able to offer competitive, if not cheaper, rates to their businesses and residents. So it's able to be competitive, if not cheaper, which is important. And I want to give you some examples. Rancho Mirage is a fully operational CCA in California at this very moment. In their first year of existence, they had a 5% savings for customers, 25% higher renewable energy portfolio, and they generated $1.3 million in revenue in their first year. So this is a key component. Cities and counties and municipalities, they're not-for-profit entities. So they can reinvest revenue into the community through different programs. Sonoma, you might remember last year, had some deadly fires. We're having some more again, unfortunately, this year as well. But through their CCA program, which is very long-standing, since a few years now, they were able to offer over $17,000 in incentives to rebuild homes, all electric and with solar included. They also include free electric vehicle chargers, additional incentives for rooftop solar, and in Marin County, which also has an operational CCA, they actually use their revenue to provide job training in renewable energy for disadvantaged communities. So what would have been profit for shareholders is reinvested. Accountability is also important too. You wouldn't want to call your investor-owned utility and ask them to increase their renewable energy portfolio. Good luck with that. But here, your elected officials are actually responsible and able to communicate with you on the process. And so I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the geographical context at the American Geographical Society, but really what CCAs allow us to do is move towards this microgrid concept that a few people have spoke about already this evening. And some of that revenue from CCAs can be reinvested into building local distributed generation. So eventually we're moving towards more flexible, resilient grids, localized, decentralized grids in our communities, which is really important. So where is community choice today? If you see this map here, those dark green areas are fully operational CCAs. Some are Los Angeles County, Santa Cruz, I mentioned Sonoma and Marin, and different phases of exploration throughout the state. So the California Public Utilities Commission determines that in about a month from now, 25% of Californians at the end of this year will be getting their energy from a CCA, and by the mid-2020s, 80% of Californians will. So this is really revolutionary, and it's where we're going. And we have a bold goal to meet 100% renewable energy. We have to get there. Most of you will agree with me on that. And I really believe community choice is the fastest and most equitable way for our communities to reach that goal. Thank you.